Hello and welcome to today's webcast, Microsoft News and Updates, brought to you by your Insight Microsoft Commercial team. I'm Claire Folger, your CSP Marketing Coordinator at Insight, and I will be your moderator today. Before we begin, I wanted to cover a few housekeeping items. This webcast is designed to be interactive between you and the presenters. The webcast console you are looking at can be completely customized. You can resize or move any of the windows that you have open. If you have any questions during the webcast, you can click on the Q&A widget at the bottom and submit your question. All questions from this webcast will be captured, and there will be a Q&A during the last few minutes of the presentation. If you are experiencing any technical difficulties, please visit the webcast help guide by clicking on the question mark icon below the presentation window. The help guide covers common technical issues. I would now like to turn over this presentation to our presenter, Elliot Barrett. The floor is yours.
Great. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time today to visit with us and talk a bit about Microsoft and Insight and the work we're doing together. Just, again, a little bit of housekeeping here. I'm also joined by Jesse Anderson as I'll call the side presenter. So what I'm hoping is that if you have any questions along the way, again, feel free to use that chat window. Jesse is manning it, so to provide any answers in real time as we go through our presentation today. Of course, I have visibility to those questions, and we'll also try and chime in if I can. And of course, at the end of the presentation, we'll cover what questions we don't get to or anything that come up in that moment. Just, by way of background, again, my name is Elliot Barrett. I'm a National Director at Insight, responsible for the Microsoft commercial business. I have been in the Microsoft, I'll call it the Microsoft orbit and ecosystem for nearly 25 years, so have seen an awful lot. And very, very happy to talk to you today about what we're doing here at Insight with our Microsoft business and some of the things that we are finding very exciting today. So with all that, what I'd like to do is just perhaps set the table a little bit and, begin to frame Insight in a way that helps us better understand the kind of work we're doing and how we're working with our customers and serving them today. One of the things that, I like about the slide that's in front of you, and I'm not going to obviously read each particular quadrant. You all can, take a look at it and read the words. But in essence, what we have learned over the last couple of years is that there are real patterns in the ecosystem in terms of what our customers, what the marketplace is doing around technology. And as you would imagine, a great deal of the focus of technology today, business today, are outcomes of what we've lived through over the last year and a half, 2 years in the pandemic, and what it's really caused us to do as organizations and business people to survive and grow and find success. And some of those buckets, seem pretty self-apparent, and it's easy to kind of get to that kind of quadrant in the corner that talks about cybersecurity clearly, and not a day goes by that we don't talk about security in the technology space, hear about, security in the headlines, and really, ask ourselves questions in terms of what is it that we need to do to harden our infrastructure and to prevent any type of negative or bad thing to occur from a security perspective. And so we find ourselves talking to our customers about that an awful lot. And then, of course, the other side to this, as it relates to the world we're living in today, is how do we support a work dynamic that is a hybrid work dynamic? And, you can see that. How do we support hybrid and remote working, today? How do we, come back to the workplace and really support that from a technology perspective? And so, many of our customers today are talking about the collaboration platforms that we all live within, whether we're talking about Teams or 365, and how do we extend our infrastructure vis-a-vis the cloud and platforms such as Azure, and all the many different things that, help us support this hybrid work environment in a meaningful way. And then, of course, there's this notion of how do we leverage technology in a way that's going to help us go that much further, become that much more competitive, and in this construct, we find ourselves talking about things like Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, and being in that scenario that helps us become that much more competitive. So these are the areas that we find ourselves talking to our customers about, every single day. And our job at Insight is to help our customers wrap their arms around those conversations, help them architect, implement, manage those solutions that are going to help them get to where they need to go. So, this is what we do every day. And of course, we're doing that at a very big scale. For those that may not be familiar with Insight, these are just some numbers, that really tell a story in terms of the substance and scale of Insight. And the one thing that I really gleaned from this slide is, yes, it's a big organization, but what I know to be true from, my day-to-day moments is that here at Insight, we're working with many organizations that fit many different types of profiles. So, it's not just about working with global organizations. We're also working with, a vast number of organizations in the mid-market and in the SMB. And that's giving us a great deal of experience and the ability to develop intellectual property around any number of industries. So if you kind of look at that matrix, we really have evolved to an organization that can spend time with almost any type of business or organization, not-for-profit, however you want to frame it, and really bring a lot of value, not just in our expertise around the technology, but our expertise around the organization, the business, and the industry itself. So this has always been, a real benefit that we have and that we bring forward for our customers. And when we bring it forward, when we talk to our customers, really find ourselves presenting our business through three solution areas. And I won't labor on, this too long. It's just to sort of give you a sense for how we're currently organized here at Insight and how our practice areas are built. And, moving from left to right, you'll see our digital innovation group, which is really this very robust practice around the development of, I'll call it web-based applications, mobile applications, getting into advanced solution sets, again, such as artificial intelligence or computer vision or Internet of Things, and really understanding what that edge component is about, and moving that forward for our customers so that they can be that much more competitive in the marketplace. And then, and you would imagine I'm not doing justice to any of these squares in the sense that there's so much more beyond this. I'm just giving you a flavor. Our cloud and data center transformation group works every day to really kind of look at today's transformative IT charter and help our customers to build the infrastructure to support those transformational moments, whether that's on-premise data centers or public cloud environments or hybrid environments. That's all coming out of our cloud and data center group, in addition to a very, very advanced security practice. So our security practice is bundled under our cloud and data center. And that security practice is global in nature, industry recognized, working with our customers every day to get them to a very secure place as they move forward in today's environment. And of course, our connected workforce group is that part of our business that's working every day with our today's customers to help them really embrace that remote workplace environment, that hybrid work environment, to help move in a very highly collaborative space. Again, I'll use solutions such as Teams or SharePoint as examples of the kind of platforms that they're working within every day. And then, of course, underneath all that, we have our pedigree, which is supply chain optimization. And that's, of course, working with our clients today to make sure that they have the infrastructure, the products, the hardware, the software to support those solution sets that we're bringing forward for them every day. So that is, Insight, from a all-up perspective. If we kind of double-click a bit, I'm actually clicking on my screen here as I say that and waiting for something to happen. Hold on. I'm wondering, Claire, maybe you can click it for me because I'm not, the slide is actually not moving forward for me.
Yeah, let me try. That one?
I'm not actually seeing it on mine, but gosh. Let me, so you can see it move, I guess is my question.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, let me see what I can do is I can see the smaller slides underneath. So what I'll do is I'll just talk from the smaller slides, and I'll ask you to move forward as I do that. And hopefully you can, kind of chime in if you think I'm ahead of the slide and all that good stuff.
Sounds
so
good.
What you should be looking at is a slide that talks about our Microsoft practice and our Microsoft capabilities here at Insight. And, again, a lot of detail here. You can see, as we have talked about our different solution areas and our different practice areas, there's a tremendous amount of investment that Insight has made over the years, organically and through acquisition, that have given us the ability to deliver at a world-class level as it relates to our Microsoft capabilities. And, of course, Microsoft is pervasive throughout today's IT environment. And in many cases, much of our clients' IT environments are built around components in part, or if not entirely, around Microsoft technology. And, what I've learned over all the years of being around Microsoft is that it's very, very common, to find a Microsoft partner that is excellent within a component of the Microsoft, I'll call it the stack, all the different stack components of the Microsoft technology suite. And, and that is fantastic. I've worked with a number of them. I've worked with for some of them. And, but there are limits there, right? Because, what we all know about the Microsoft stack, Microsoft solution set, is that it really builds synergies when we add or we couple these technologies together, 1 + 1 = 4. And really what, I often present to folks I talk to is the opportunity to find a partner that can deliver excellence throughout the stack, because that's the kind of partner that's going to be able to give you this one-stop shop, that ability to deliver with these coupled solutions between the solution sets, and not put you in a position where you have to understand if there's a point of failure, where that point of failure is, that you can hold a single partner accountable to excellence throughout the Microsoft experience. So here, that slide hopefully speaks to that. There are a number of rewards and credentials that I won't labor on because, there are many of them. We were Partner of the Year last year. You should be able to see in the top right-hand corner an Azure MSP credential, which really is a very global credential that only a handful of organizations have, that really should tell you and others that we speak to that here at Insight, we are able to help our customers migrate and manage their Azure instances and migrate them from different tenants, different environments, move them from an enterprise agreement, for example, into a CSP environment. Those are things that not everybody can do, and we can, and we have the tools to do it because of that credential. I think if we click, Claire, then you should see a press release clipping around our security accolades, or basically the recognition of our Microsoft security practice and the excellence for helping our customers deliver there, as well as around Azure and our solution capabilities. So, these are credentials and acknowledgments that we continue to receive and really speak to our capabilities here at Insight around Microsoft. So assuming that I'm still doing good in terms of where I'm at with the slides, if you click further, Claire, we should be looking at a slide that says Open License Sunset, just the beginning. And I'll pause for a second. Claire, can you just give me a thumbs up or let me know that we're on the right slide?
Yes, that's the slide that I'm showing.
Excellent. Okay, good. So, some of you may know this, others may not. Microsoft is in the midst of sunsetting a licensing program called Open. Open has been in and around our world for decades, many years. And for many organizations, it's how they have acquired Microsoft technology from a legacy perspective. And really, I'm not going to spend an awful lot of time, talking about the open sunset, the fact that this is a program that is going away. I'm actually using this to speak to a grander point, and I think if you click, what should happen, Claire, is that screen should go away, and then we should see a bit of a graph. And that graph should show you, hey, look, I have a box that says Enterprise Agreements, MPSA Open, and, the graph is here to convey the notion that Microsoft is really beginning to eliminate or limit the scope of what we're calling these legacy purchasing vehicles, and really translating everything over into this new construct that we call CSP. And of course, Microsoft, if they were on the phone, would tell you that, you could also, in addition to purchasing Microsoft technology from Insight vis-a-vis a vehicle like a CSP, you could also purchase directly from Microsoft. And there are differences in saying that. And part of what I want to talk through today is, to make sure that, the folks that I'm talking to all the time understand that Microsoft is going through a very dramatic change in how they do business, that they're moving from, these legacy agreements, which tend to be very archaic in nature. They're very much, you pay up front, you pay over many years, you pay based on estimates. It's not very conducive to a cloud experience, which is much more about subscription and consumption. They're moving away from that to this new world that we live in that really is pay for what you use as opposed to pay up front. And, of course, there are differences between how Microsoft can present that and how we can. Microsoft can present to you an option where you can pay for what you use, but it really kind of stops there. And what I'm here to tell you is that there is this benefit to working with Insight, this benefit to working with a partner, in the sense that not only can we give you the same price, if not better, from a consumption or a subscription perspective, but we have the opportunity to bundle in support services within that same transaction and give you a far broader reach when it comes to the solution capabilities that we can provide from the practice areas and all the many different things that I've been talking to in the previous slides. And, that is a big difference. With Microsoft, they will not do that. They don't have that capability largely for the vast majority of customers that they're going to work with. So, when I talk about CSP, I really want to give you first a sense for what is CSP, and then I want to talk about a very advanced, no, I shouldn't say that, what we would call our premier version, our ultimate version around CSP, because I really think it underscores all the different things that we can do for our customers in a very meaningful way, and really differentiates from the experience you would have from buying directly from Microsoft or from another partner. So with that, Claire, I think if you click, you should be looking at what I would call our standard CSP slide. And so I'll pause, and if you could just tell me that's what you think we're looking at, that would be helpful.
Yes, the Essentials Advanced Premier.
Perfect. Okay, good. All right. I'm glad I paid attention when I built these slides. So really, when we talk about CSP, here at Insight, we call that Insight Cloud Care. It's our branded version of CSP. And we have 3 flavors. And, in essence, with CSP, and in this case, I'm talking about CSP or Insight Cloud Care for 365, what we're trying to do is give our customers the opportunity to acquire 365 on a subscription basis, to pay for what they use, as opposed to paying up front, whether that would have been in an enterprise agreement or an open agreement, give them better pricing, give them the financial, what I would call latitude, to the ability to, within any given month or a period of time or term, to be able to throttle up and down based on the subscriptions that they need. Just like what we are, today as consumers. We don't pay up front for our SaaS-based experience. We pay for what we use within a particular given month. And so we are able to deliver this to our customers through Insight Cloud Care, but we are also able to bundle in support services within each of these tiers. And of course, as you would imagine, with every tier is an elevated version of support. So within Essentials, not only do we give our customers the ability to subscribe to 365 on a per month, per person basis, but they also get the ability to access our administrative help desk support. So their administrators are able to use our help desk support team to help them, support them, to backstop them. And as they look at that total price, they're getting a price that's going to be less expensive than what they would have paid if they were using an enterprise agreement or working directly with Microsoft. So they're getting support at a better price point in addition to getting the technology itself. So it's really good. As we step up to advanced, same as Essentials, you get all that, plus we give them the opportunity to use our end user help desk support. So, this ends up being like magic for many of our customers who are, in IT, that are supporting hundreds, thousands of their own internal customers around 365. And gosh, if they could be spending their time doing something else, they'd like to. And with Insight Cloud Care, for 365, our customers have the opportunity to do that. They're able to offload that. So I have to ask, I have to say, Claire, I think I just lost my internet. So I'm going to do this by memory the best I can. And hopefully you can help me as we go from slide to slide. So I'm just letting you know that I think I'm good with this slide. So hopefully you're good. Can you hear me? Just let me confirm that real quick.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right, great. So I was talking about advanced. As we move from advanced, we go to Premier. And the one thing I want to say in this construct, is that whether we're talking about essentials, advanced, or Premier, we are in a situation where our customers are able to use our cloud management platform, which is a really powerful mechanism for our clients. It is an online platform that helps them subscribe, provision, manage, and monitor their cloud experience, whether it's 365 or Azure. And, in those scenarios, that gives them a lot of flexibility and a lot of autonomy. If you think about your prior experience when it comes to Microsoft and managing your licensing, if you needed something done, you'd have to call somebody and have them do it for you and so forth. This gives you the ability to manage your cloud experience on the fly and then monitor and manage it in a more helpful manner. So again, Essentials, Advanced. But now let's talk about Premier. So Premier is, very much a step up in terms of the value that we're able to bring to our customers within Insight Cloud Care. And, with Premier, not only do you get what comes from Essentials and Advanced, but here we're really beginning to open up our intellectual property and open up our professional services capabilities. So I'm going to kind of double click into all these things, but when I talk about intellectual property, I'm talking about some very powerful dashboards and portals that we will provide you to help you manage your 365 environment and some of your what I'll call security posture. We also open up our professional catalog and our professional service architects to help you really dip into our ability to unlock the technology that you have within the Microsoft solution set, all within the subscription, so that you're not paying more for those services and capabilities. So if we click, and I'm really hoping what happens is we click to a slide that should really show you the specific benefits of Advanced, and then there should be an image of one of our 365 dashboards. Does that sound right, Claire?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. And, really what I want to talk about earlier is I talked about the dashboards that we provide to our customers. One of those dashboards that you get through Premier is a 365 what I'll call usage dashboard. And, what we know about Microsoft technology is that there's always the, sort of like the, if we've heard of the 80-20 rule, 20% of the features provide 80% of the value. With Microsoft, it tends to be, if you think about usage, 95% of our users use 5% of the actual application. We've seen that all through the many years that we use with Microsoft, if we think about Word or Excel. But the goal with Microsoft is to use all the many features and functions and capabilities that it provides so that we get the best return on our investment. And frequently for many of our customers, they just don't have visibility to what is being used and who is using it. This dashboard that we provide you as part of the Premier offering gives you visibility to your 365 environment. Who are the employees that are using it? What components of 365 are they actually using? And really helps you understand where is that white space, where is that gap that you can take advantage of so that you can, then maybe do training or do enablement or whatever it is for a customer or an employee or staff team, if you will, to get the best return on that 365 experience. So that's one thing that we give you with Premier. The other is, and I think, Claire, if you click, we go to another view of a dashboard, which we call the Triple I dashboard. And really what I like to think of it as an incident dashboard. And, I want to be super careful. This is not a security dashboard. It's what I would call an anomaly dashboard. And really what the goal of this dashboard is to show you visually what anomalies are persisting throughout your experience, your environment, so that it can give you let's call it trail crumbs or early indicators to things that may be something to think about, something to worry about, things that are anomalies outside the patterns of your typical business. And that's important stuff, because although not everything turns out to be something to worry about, some things do. And this can give you an early indicator to really double click into whatever it is that it's talking about. So again, that's something, that comes from that. So if we click from there, we should be looking at an image of what I would call our jumpstart program. And I'm going to talk about that in a bit. In essence, one of the other things that we provide through this particular experience is the ability to leverage what we call package services within our package services catalog. And these are fixed-based statements of work that you are able to get as part of your subscription. So you're not going to pay extra for it. This is all built into your subscription. And it lets you pull into your arsenal, if you will, our professional services team to implement in a very pragmatic way specific solution sets that can help you move your business forward or your technology environment forward, which is, meaningful and important. And, what I've always thought is valuable in this particular context is that, frequently, sometimes, we find ourselves in situations where we need to take advantage of a professional services team, but we haven't budgeted for it, and finding that extra budget can be, time-consuming, difficult sometimes. But in this case, it's already built into your subscription. So you're not going to pay extra for leveraging some of our professional services capabilities and implementing or activating certain solution sets that may be very important within a particular quarter. So within our Premier offering, you get one of these package services, let's say for free within that quarter. So all of that is part of, what we provide within this particular offering. I think then if we go from there, we should get ourselves into another slide which says onboarding on it. Is that what we're looking at, Claire?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. So, what I want to do now is just really quickly talk through, if you decide to go through Premier, what does that experience look like? So it helps us double click into all the many different benefits and features of being in the Premier CSP offering. The first is, of course, when you become a CSP customer for Premier, we're going to set you up into our cloud management portal. I talked about that a bit before, where we're going to help you better understand how to manage your subscriptions, how to activate them, how to provision them, how to assign the licenses, how to deactivate, how all the things are going to help you not have to be dependent on a particular person. And the other nuance to this platform, which is very positive, is that it gives you a bunch of details and reporting tied to billing so that you can understand how your cloud subscriptions are being invoiced, and that can help you work with your accounting organization to help, do that internal accounting, as you will, if you will. The other thing that we do when we go through onboarding is we begin to introduce you to the many support structures that we've built within our CSP experience. Our cloud care team is here to support you with any type of platform questions that you may have within the CSP cloud management portal. We also introduce you to our tech support team to make sure you understand, hey, if I've got challenges tied to 365, where am I going to get support? We're going to make sure you understand how to engage them. We have a cloud success manager team that works with our customers on a monthly and regular basis to help them understand how do they best cost optimize the cloud experience, whether it's 365 or Azure. And then finally, we're going to introduce you to your assigned architect, which is going to be available to you as part of your Premier subscription, and that you can leverage multiple hours of to make sure that you're maybe getting a backstop to any particular solution-based architecture. And then, of course, we're going to set you up in the dashboards, and I think there's a click here a couple times. And then ultimately you should get to the dashboards that I showed you before, and really those dashboards get set up for you during that onboarding process. So, okay, now moving forward, and Claire, I think your next thing is the Premier Customer Journey Cloud Success Manager slide?
Yep, we're there right now.
Okay, great. Okay, excellent. So, when I talked about our Cloud Success Managers, they're here to help you really get the most from a cost optimization of your Azure and your 365 experience. And they're here to also make sure that you're working with your architects and our technical solution providing, practice areas to help you really expand, the return that you have in the cloud to help really match you with our practice areas and our solution capabilities to help you move forward. The slide that you're currently looking at, the images are probably our original dashboards, which are the 365 dashboard and the III dashboard. But I think if we click, it'll show you two images of what is the Azure Cost Manager platform. And this is to be very specific, so we do work with a number of cost management platforms, not just Azure Cost Manager, but Azure Cost Manager is one of our primary ones. And when you're onboarded, our cloud success managers will work with you to configure Azure Cost Manager. We'll help you set up best practices. We'll help you make sure that you're in a position to really go to this dashboard and really truly understand in a visual way how you're consuming and then how to set the right budgets within particular workloads based on what we see as best practices and really kind of put you in a position of confidence that, you're getting the best return on your cloud experience. I will say here that, for some of our customers, we do work within not just Azure, but we do work within AWS and GCP, and we will work in other portals to help them get to, I won't, always call it a single pane of glass, but the ability for them to see the consumption and monitor and manage both Azure and AWS. So we have some latitude here, and certainly can support that through our Premier offering. If we click forward, I think we get to the architect engagement slide. And Claire, does that sound right?
Yeah, you're all good.
Okay. All right, great. So, this is, to me, I think, an incredibly valuable component of the Premier offering in the sense that, again, very often we find ourselves in situations where, we have a responsibility or we're chartered to solve for a particular business or technology challenge. And, we find ourselves architecting particular solutions. We are not experts in everything. None of us are individually, but, it always helps to have a partner that we can bring in, a subject matter expert, to help validate an architecture or begin to sketch out an architecture for a particular solution based on what we've been chartered to do. And, very often, if you're going to have this kind of support, it's going to cost X thousands of dollars for that to happen. Again, through the Premier offering, you're provided every quarter an 8-hour engagement with an expert architect to help begin to establish, validate, or craft a particular architecture. So this is, a very important, I think, valuable feature of the Premier offering that, I love highlighting because, very often we don't have these sources available to us so fast. And this is something that comes as a very clear benefit to the Premier offering. Again, as we click further, we get to what I would call the package services delivery. And, and I know there's a number of images here. So, I guess in the first part of this, I want to remind you that this is the offering where we give you the ability to really reach into our package services catalog. And we, through the package services catalog, every quarter can provide a fixed-based SAL that will deliver to you for free as part of the Premier offering to get you initially established in a production environment in a very pragmatic way. And, I think if you click, you go to a bulleted list of what is available in these package services. And if you look at that list, it's fairly extensive. And we're always seeking to add to this list. But, imagine that in any quarter, you could dip into this as part of your Premier offering and make it, real. And the one thing I'll point out is that it's not just Microsoft, that it is AWS and Azure and other parts of Microsoft. So it's fairly extensive. The one thing that, we acknowledge is that the cloud environment isn't singular, that there are multi-cloud environments, and we want to be able to support that. So one of the ways that we can do that is through this Premier offering. And again, it's not just 365, it's not just AWS, it's Azure, it's very extensive here. If you click further, what I've done is begin to show you an example of one of these package services. And I think what I show you is the jumpstart for Power BI, which, we get a lot of attention around Power BI. And it's not, again, this isn't an IaaS solution. This isn't AWS or Azure in particular. But it is a very good example of how you can reach into a professional services team and get a very practical, pragmatic deliverable that you can deliver, that you in turn can provide to your organization, to your executives. And again, it's all part of the Premier offering. If we click one further, you can, I think it says, how does Jumpstart work? And there should be about 3 lines that give you the details in terms of what is in the actual scope of that engagement. And, ultimately what I'd like to underscore here is that you actually get a functional dashboard as part of this engagement. And this is just, again, it's an example, but I think it's a powerful one. And I want to underscore. So hopefully that helps you really get a firm idea of when we're talking about the Premier offering and what it is. Real quick, last couple slides. If we click again, we should be looking at Inside Cloud Care for Microsoft Azure. And here, what we're talking about is CSP again, but it's not 365, which we've been talking about. This is Azure. And really all I'm talking about here is our Essentials tier. And my goal here is to just communicate to you that is through Inside Cloud Care for Azure that we give our customers the ability to acquire Azure on a consumption basis. Many of our customers in the past have had to acquire Azure by paying upfront over a multi-year agreement, usually millions of dollars. And it's not always certain that you're going to consume all that you pay upfront for. And really, truly, we all, can appreciate the fact that if we don't have to take millions of dollars and pay up front, but can pay on a consumption basis for what we use on a month-by-month basis, it's a much better outcome. I always like to refer to this as similar to like the electrical bill. I would never pay for my electrical bill for a year up front. I enjoy paying for what I actually consume on a monthly basis. This is that concept, but magnified or amplified, if you will. And through our essential offering, we give our customers the ability to acquire Azure on a consumption basis. We give them access to our administrative support help desk 24/7. And we also get them into the Azure Cost Manager, which I talked about before, to help them monitor and manage their Azure experience. So a lot of benefit here. If we click to the last 2 slides, one of the things that we get to in this second to last slide, I think, is that we, for many of our customers, they look at their Azure or their cloud instances and they ask themselves, am I getting the best return on that investment? There typically in any given year, there's a lot of wasted cloud spend because many of our customers just don't have the expertise or the tools to help them understand where their anomalies are. Is there any rogue spending? Is there spending that occurs when, workloads are established but then forgotten? Do they have the monitoring to do that? And we can help our customers really assess their current state in terms of, are they getting the best out of their cloud spend in an ongoing basis, or to help them assess what it would cost for them to move on-premise workloads into the cloud. And we do this through a team, and if we click to our last slide, that we call our Cloud Economics and SAM Services team. And that'll help our customers really scope their current workloads on-premise, understand what those costs and mechanics may look like to move them into the cloud, whether that's Azure, AWS, or GCP, and really set those cost economics appropriately. And then, of course, finally, we do work from a software asset management perspective, helping our customers really understand their current portfolio and really understand where their entitlements are, maybe where their shortfalls are, and really help them level set. So with that, I think I made it, and we should be at the question slide. Claire, does that sound right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, great. And Jesse, I know you're on, and I don't know if we've gotten any questions, but Jesse, can I ask you to just help me out there and tell me if there are any questions or anything that we need to answer?
Yeah, I do not see any questions as of right now.
Okay, well, we can give it a minute or two, and if not, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay. All right, great. Well, with that, again, I want to thank you all for taking the time to spend with us this morning. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties over here, but I think we made it. And I hope that, you were able to take from this presentation a very clear understanding of Insight, what we're doing today with our friends over at Microsoft, and really how we're bringing forward for our customers, a best-in-class cloud experience. So If you have any questions after this, feel free to reach out to me directly. My email is elliot.barretts@insight.com. And again, thank you very much.